Good day, everyone. I am Jorel Magistrado from ADT 12A from the De La Salle University Integrated School, presenting my research Unsaid Woes, the lives of young women under the constraint of rape culture. It is important to note that the artwork for this research is still ongoing. However, there are some artworks available for viewing. Get started. Here is the overview of the artwork. Rape culture was coined in January 1975 based on the feminist film titled The Rape Culture, which was initially about examining sexual fantasies in mainstream media according to Taub. Some movements that fought against it are the Iha ako and the Babae ako movements. It is said that rape culture is propagated by conservative beliefs, like, for example, blaming clothing choices, which justify sexual harassment, and patriarchal standards. Now, it is important to know that when such behavior is left unchanged, it becomes normalized, which then excuses sexual harassment and the actions of the like. Rape culture then results in, but not limited to, slut shaming, which is the stigma surrounding sexually active women and the behavior considered promiscuous, which then leads to misogyny since it dictates what women should do, but from a male perspective. Now, for the objectives, the first one is to add discourse to the fight with rape culture, and it is important for the voices of women and the perspectives of women to be heard, for the people to be aware, informed, and to empathize with women and the issue that they are battling with. The second is to teach children and adolescents the value of standing up to rape culture. And this is important since children are more impressionable, especially at a young age, specifically from the age groups 12 to 18 and 19 to 24, according to Guan and Zhang. And they will most likely instill these values as an adult when taught earlier on. Also, children should be taught the value of respecting other people's boundaries and their bodies, and their own right to have other people respect their boundaries and their bodies. Lastly, to serve as both a voice and a tool for education. Unsaid goals will remain relevant for it discusses and persistent and prevalent issue. It both adds and receives insight into the feminist perspective regarding rape culture and body image as well for women. For the main question, how does rape culture affect the lives of female students in the Philippines? This is followed by three sub-questions. How does a patriarchal society, such as families, contribute to the emergence of rape culture? How do conservative beliefs influence or shape rape culture? And how is rape culture manifested in everyday life of a student living in the Philippines? Now, to understand the artwork, the critical theory and the lens used to examine this research with is feminism. And feminism was chosen since it examines the equality of sexes. The research paper used this lens to examine how women are objectified and oppressed both by traditional beliefs and by modern standards. This shows the microaggressions displayed towards women that are more often than not brushed under the rug. The more specific basis for the study is the Beauvois, the second sex, since it looks at how women are considered as the other or as someone beneath men. For the qualitative data collection, there were three procedures conducted, which was the focus group discussion, and this was participated by youths of different sexualities and genders. The questionnaire, answered by Ms. Cheryl Alapad, a Gabriela Women's Party member, and an interview which was answered by Ms. Leah Barbilla, a representative of the Commission on Human Rights, Gender Equality, and Women's Rights Center. Now for the artwork itself. The artwork which will be made is an art book or a zine. Right now, it is still in the art making process where the illustrations are still being completed and it is up for layouting, but it will be posted as an online zine on issue soon. And the zine was chosen so that the artist would be able to explore the different aspects of rape culture, all the while keeping a cohesive theme. The metaphorical and light visuals, along with the color palette and the style chosen, which is cartoony to semi-realistic, were all chosen with the explanation of trying to make the subject matter less intimidating for younger audiences to digest. Since it is a very sensitive subject matter, so it will be divided into three chapters: toys and trinkets, which will have the theme of childhood and will use toys as metaphorical visuals; body buffets, which shows women as food and commodities, alluding to how women are objectified. This is also a call out for how women are used as eye candy to sell more products for certain advertisements in media. The world as we know it is the final chapter, and it visualizes how a woman experiences and perceives the world. This shows her discomfort and unease in certain environments, though played off as something that she is used to. There will be two sample artworks each for the chapters that I will be showing, and also the chapter headers. And this is the one for Toys and Trinkets. The first artwork is Paper Girls, which shows how controlled the wardrobes of young girls are. This references paper dolls can be played by swapping out the clothes in the post cutout. This is in reference to how girls have no choice but to accept what they are expected to wear and what they are given to wear by their parents. Next is Missing Pieces, a portrayal of the struggle of finding self identity. A lot of factors could influence a person's identity, and some can be harmful, like, for example, toxic beauty standards, which can be present in the media that the young girls consume. This piece shows the confusion of girls when differentiating who they really are and what society says they should be. For the next chapter, Body Buffets, this is the chapter header. The first work for this chapter is Leftover Birthday Cake, which tackles the objectification of virginity, treating it as something a woman would quote unquote lose or give away. This work is a commentary on how women are heavily criticized for no longer being virgins, and how other people see them as impure or as less, as if losing your virginity makes you less valuable as a person, or as if your value is attached to your virginity. It is inspired by the blood scene from the horror movie Carrie, and the blood, which was mimicked by the frosting in this artwork, symbolizes the loss of innocence. The next work is What Are You Buying?, which visualizes how companies commodify and use women to sell their products. This artwork speaks more to the consumers than the companies, touching upon the morality of supporting companies which use this type of advertising. It is not only the presentation of the advertisement that needs to change, but also how critical consumers should be of the products and companies they buy from. For example, customers who condone these types of ads turn a blind eye to the dehumanizing way women are presented here, only as objects and not as people. For the last chapter, which is The World as We Know It, we have On Edge, which shows how women constantly feel the need to learn how to defend themselves or carry self defense tools. It is a reflection of how unsafe the world has become, especially for women. We are burdened with the threat of danger everywhere we go. The last artwork to be shown is Just a Normal Bus Ride, which encapsulates the feeling of danger in public transportation. This artwork was based on the experiences of focus group discussions with commuting, as well as the own artist's experiences. Commuting, especially during the night, can feel very unsafe for women, since there could be danger lurking around each corner. Even in broad daylight, women are unsafe because some men still have the audacity to sexually harass them. All women want to do is to get home safely at the end of the day, But even a mere greeting becomes hostile sometimes. Thank you. That is my research so far. I hope you learned more than a thing and two about rape culture and continue the fight against it. Have a wonderful day.